Hello friends, welcome to Gradeup, which is the largest online education platform for engineering students. And myself, Mallesham Devasane, here I am going to help you to do the revision on C programming. In the previous two sessions, we have seen theory of computation and compiler design, and this session is specially about C programming. And you know, the C programming has a very high weightage compared to any other subject, but the syllabus is very small compared to any other subject in our GATE, CS and IT. Yeah, Abhirup, good evening. Sandeep, good evening. Yeah. Mihatri, good evening. Rafat, good evening. Divyansh, good evening. Yeah, Sutaria, Namaste Guru. Yeah, Aniket, good evening. Alright, good evening guys. Now, let me introduce first what we have on Gradeup, and then I am going to begin our session as usual. Yeah, Pratik, good evening. Thank you so much. Aniket, Pratik. Yeah, sister, good evening. Yeah, good evening, Divyansh, Divya. All right, Darshan, good evening. ना शुभम मिल जाएगा 50 कॉन्सेप्ट्स इसके बाद 9 बजे रात को 9 बजे स्टार्ट होगा. विल ट्राई टू फिनिश बाय maybe 12 or 1 a.m. today. So I was planning for 6 hours, but I will try to complete within 4 hours if possible. Otherwise it will go 6 hours. Yes, it will be there. So it was supposed to be 9 a.m. but I have scheduled to 9 p.m. because of other reasons. Shubham, 9 baje. Yeah, good evening. Kaushal, good evening. Lalit, good evening. Rambab, good evening. Yeah, Krishna, good evening. How are you guys? You have just 2 days left for the GATE exam. How are you feeling now? Supposed to be you are doing preparation, but I am doing instead of yourself. Yes, I'm going to make you revision on most of the important concepts as usual. Yeah, Sonu, good evening. Krishna, good evening. Yeah, good evening. All right. And please like the session and also subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet, and also share with your friends if you have any friends who want to prepare or who are preparing for GATE exam. Yes, our session name is All-in-One Master Revision Class on C Programming. So if you want to know about me, I have 12 years of teaching experience and I have cracked the GATE multiple times, but during my BTech 3rd year and final year I have cracked the GATE exam with self preparation. Today I'm helping to the students because I suffered a lot during my preparation. Obviously I'm earning a lot, but that is not the my motto. I'm switching one to other. That doesn't mean that I'm well paid, guys. Somebody commenting that's not good. Yeah, my expertise is TOC, compiler and discrete mathematics, as well as programming, DS, algo, and many subjects I know. Today you will be knowing that we have 50 concepts to guarantee the 50 marks in exam. Of course, the concept may be near to our question, but yeah, Pratik, you're confident? Good. Everybody should confident, guys. If anybody has a fear, just make a call to me and I will discuss with you. And if you want to communicate with me, just search on Google my name. You will find my contact and just send a message. I will connect to you. Yes. Yeah, Pranav, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, Purna. Even I am doing that same. And tomorrow we have discrete mathematics. Tomorrow I think 1 p.m. right? Tomorrow we have that. Don't prepare anything new. Remember that. Don't open your textbooks or notebooks now. Not required really. The things that you have prepared till today or till tomorrow, that's gonna be applicable in the exam. But today and tomorrow you should have very cool and you should have relaxed, but you should have a revision strategy and try to think about what you have studied. Did I remember the particular topic or not? That you need to do the rehearsal rather than opening textbooks. Yes. Yeah, good evening, Sweta. Vaishnavi, good evening. And if I miss anybody, yes, good evening to everyone, guys. Yes, if I miss anybody, sorry. And good evening, everyone. Yes, Sumitra. Yeah. Okay, if you are not aware of our analysis, and we are going to do the analysis on the 13th Feb, that on the exam day we have two sessions. At 12:30 p.m. we are going to start the first paper analysis, and 6 p.m. we are going to do the second paper analysis. So first paper and second paper we are going to have analysis, and those people who are attending in the second session, please attend for half an hour to 20 minutes just to know about how the paper was about. If we get to know any concept we are going to discuss, so that you can have a quick revision for few minutes, but don't depend on us, because analysis is just to help you. Remember that. Yes, we are going to discuss on difficult level and subject wise weightage, as well as answer key and solutions, whichever the questions we receive, and expected cutoff, that is for paper. Yeah, so we have post-gate guidance, which was already started from 8th Feb, and once you have completed the exam, once you complete the exam, please try to attend our post-gate guidance, which is going to help you what is your future plan. If you want to make any future plan, this post-gate guidance is going to help you. All right. So if you want to prepare for GATE 2022, this is the time to think about. We have the batch of starting from 15th Feb. This is a Vision 2022. This is a course for GATE 2022. And remember, it's not for ESE, it is a GATE exam. All right. And you know what are the things are there. If you have any doubts, you can contact our helpline, that is 96500529904, guys. Yes. And are you ready for now? All right. Good evening. Good evening, Himanshu. Good evening. Yes, I'm very near to know you, right? Mostly, yes, Vaishnavi. Why we are doing analysis? Because I have seen the previous papers. That is near to, because sometimes the faculty makes two questions from the same concept or same topic, because the two papers we should have the almost same standard. But we don't guarantee that. But sometimes it happens in some of the topics, in some of the subjects. It's going to happen. Yes. I have seen multiple times in the previous year GATE questions. All right. Good evening, Bansika. Good evening, Nikhil. Good evening. Yes. Come on, Kushi. Good evening. All right. All right. So don't worry about the paper exam now, but we have to do the best thing, that is revision now. Are you ready, guys? Now, quick. Are you ready? Chalo, we are going to start our revision quickly. Chalo. I need a response, guys. Everyone. Yesterday I was feeling dehydration, because of I did not have the water. So today we don't have any problem. All right. Good evening, Prachi. Just wait, guys. Just. Yeah. There's some issues happening. I'll just. Is this enough? Yeah. All right. I'm going to use this. So what we are going to do now. In C programming, we need to focus on few concepts like, first the tokens. In the tokens, the two important things, which are operators and keywords. Of course, remaining are there that you will get to know while you use it, like, constants, identifiers, which are also important, but no need to learn every day. Yes, but operators and keywords, you should spend a lot of time. Like operators, you have plenty of operators, but which are finite, and all the operators you should be learning, because of they have the precedence rules, and if you do not aware of the precedence rules, there can be a problem in the exam, because in C language you have many kinds of operators. Yes. And the second one, keywords. You have 32 keywords. If you are not aware of these keywords, first learn about them, because they might ask about structures, unions, or you might have control statements. All of them, they use different keywords, right? You have the const keyword, volatile, and so many types of keywords are there, and learn all of them. So I'm going to help you in operators. How do you learn basically? Yes, the first I'm going to help you in operators. In these operators, if I see the previous year GATE questions, we have arithmetic operators that everybody can answer it well. That's not the problem. And there are special operators like increment, decrement, and then logical operators and relational operators, bitwise operators. So these are the important operators compared to any other operators in our operators list. Yes, good evening, Sweta, Abul, good evening. Yeah, thank you for joining the session. Yes, we have the class at 9 p.m. today. We have the class at 9 p.m. today. Anybody is not aware of that? Already that link is published, right? Class is there at 9 p.m. today. After this class, I'll try to complete as soon as possible this session, so that we'll be ready for the next session. Next session is going to have 50 questions from all the subjects, which I'm expecting that the 50 plus marks can be secured from them. Yes, in the arithmetic, I am not explaining much, but increment, decrement. If you want to know about increment, decrement, let's practice little bit about increment, decrement. Okay, somebody is writing like x is equal to a plus plus multiply with plus plus b, and assume that you have a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and this is an expression. Then how do you answer if I print, suppose, x a b after this statement? After this statement, if I print x a b, what are the values? If I'm going to print here, let's say printf, because I don't like such examples, but if anybody is new to this way operators, if you forgot, just a revision it is. Yeah, quick. Please give me the output very quick. I do not know at it's minimum 3 hours, Sweta. Minimum 3 hours, 9 to 12 or 9 to 1. 6 hours I am planning, but I don't think I will take 6 hours. Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 3 to 3. What is answer? Okay, so now look at this is a post increment. So you will have an answer here 1, and plus plus b, you will have an answer 3. Before using the b, it will increment. So 1 multiply with 3, you will have a 3 for the x. But a, once you come out of this statement, the 1 become 2 and b is already 3. So 3 to 3 should be answered. 3 to 3. Who is that? 4 to 3. So no. It's 3 to 3. 3 to 3 is right. And here you might have a problem because of lack of experience in increment, decrement operators. Okay, let me write something else. Okay, one more. I can't use the same variable multiple times because of side effects in the compiler. Side effects in the compiler. Okay, I'm just giving A is 1, B is 2 and C is 3 before executing. So tell me what are the values of X, A, B, C. Find out what is X, A, B, C. Quick. So after we'll move to the important concepts. just to have compatibility with increment and decrement. Yes, now what is the answer for this? Come on guys, quick. And be confident. These 2 days is going to help you how well you perform in the exam, guys. Remember, don't look back. The work what you have done in the past 1 year is gonna help you, and I'm there with you all the time to guide you. And remember, yes, not only I teach, I also guide you well. Look at that. What is 7, 8, 6? This many answers should not come, right? It's a very simple one. A plus plus, you will take 1 only, but here it will become 2. B plus plus, B will be 2 only, but you will increment it later. And plus plus C, now only you will increment, so it is 4. Right. Anyhow, you are going to multiply first. 1 multiply 2, it's a 2. And 2 plus 4 is a 6. So X value is 6. And anyhow, C was incremented already, it was 4. 6, 2, 3, 4, guys. 6, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4. Not 6, 1, 3, 4. Yeah, very simple. That is the reason I am taking, guys. Increment, decrement, you might have a confusion. Look at that. How do you make it? Post increment means increment later, so that you will see in the next statement that effect. Yes. Is that clear? 6, 2. 6, 2, 3, 4. B is the 2. Anyhow, it is 3. Yeah. These are very easy. 1 definitely 2, 2 definitely 3, 3 definitely 4, because they have increments. But X only is going to see the different result, because sometimes you are using post, sometimes you are using pre, and depends on that the X value is affected. Right? ABC is very easy. ABC, why are you doing the mistake? A is 1, so it has to be 2, because you are using increments. You are using increments. A, B, C, everybody incremented once. Yeah. Right? A, B, C, blind answer. It has to be 2, 3, 4. You can't write the wrong answer for this. Okay, only X might be a problem, but that's I have explained it. All right. Okay, let's move. Okay, as I said, tokens. What is expected in the exam? In the tokens, we have operators, but there is a problem with the operators. Suppose anybody writing A multiply with B. You are writing here. And it's purely related to the computer organization, guys. If you are not aware of it, try to learn now. X is equal to A multiply with B. Now tell me, if you are using your computer, which one is fetched first? A, B, X. Which one is fetched first? There are 3 addresses, or there are 3 operands, or there are 3 registers. Doesn't matter to me. Which one is fetched from the computer? X, A, B. We are dealing with 3 addresses. X, A, B. Which is going to be fetched first? X, A, B. Which is loaded first? Come on, quick. X, A, B. Let me see who is going to answer first. X, A, B. Oh my bad. That means you are not the computer science student, guys. No, nobody knows. It's purely architecture dependent. Purely architecture dependent, guys. A, B, and this is R value. And this is L value. System decides, is it L value evaluated first, R value evaluated first? Nobody knows X, A, B. Remember that point. Don't answer A, don't answer B, don't answer X. Because L value or R value, have you seen an operating system? These two are independent expressions. Even after executing A star B also, interrupt can happen. Have you studied that? No. You can't say X depending on architecture, guys. Please don't answer such things. I don't know how many of you know about this. Here, we don't know who is going to be first. Anybody can be first, anybody can be second, anybody can be third. Here, there are 3 things we are accessing. Anyone. Anyone can be fetched first. Remember that. Is it clear? L value or value is there, and which is taken first, L value or R value, even that is also system dependent. So there are many problems here. When you have L value and R value, who is first? That depends on the system. Who is evaluated first? That is why we don't understand the programming most of the times. L value or R value. It can be L value or it can be R value. But after that, once these two are understood, then R value will be assigned to L value. Very simple thing. Let me explain that. Suppose if I am writing A of 2 is equal to 3 into 5. Do you know in computer, A of 2 is different expression, 3 into 5 is different expression. A of 2 is different expression, 3 into 5 is different expression. Do you agree that A of 2 is expression, that is L value, Then which is taken first? Is this A of 2 executed first or 3 into 5? That we do not know. Everybody agree? System dependent. But it evaluates somehow either A of 2 or 3 into 5 first, then second is somebody else, then third is the result will be assigned to this. So I can do, there are many ways. Maybe first understand, that is evaluate A of 2. This is the first, let's say. And second, 3 into 5. You may understand as a multiply with 15. That can be done by even compiler also. And third is assigned as that 15 will be assigned to A of 2. Because A of 2 is not, not simple variable, just it can understand directly. A of 2 has to be evaluated because A of 2 nothing but star of A plus 2 in C program. This is expression. It has to be calculated first before storing the 15 into this one. So which one is done first, that compiler and system together will decide. Everybody agree? This is an expression. You can't take last or you can't take first. That depends on the computer. That depends on the system. And 3 into 5, it has to be evaluated. If it is not 3 into 5, it could be some other variable. Doesn't matter. Clear? Now onwards, you should be very careful when you are dealing with an expression. If it has L value or value, nobody knows directly who is considered first. But this is one way. And other ways, first you can understand 3 into 5. Second, you can understand A of 2. Third, you can assign the result of 15 to A of 2 by understanding A of 2. Right? Everybody clear this point? So this is one of the important factor. That is the reason operating system, computer organization and C programming, they have a relation. All of them, somebody says that here interrupt can happen before assigning it. Why is that? Because 3 into 5 executed, here also interrupt can happen. Why not? That's why in semaphores we don't understand why interrupt happens in the assignment statement itself. Everybody agree? If you have x is equal to x plus 1 and people say that after this interrupt happens here before assigning it, how is that possible? Because these two are different statements and x plus 1 executes first or x executes first, we do not know, but x plus 1 is individual atomic operation, and after this operation you can assign to this, but before assigning interrupt can happen here. Everybody agree this point? Right, in operating system this is going to be important. When you go for minor level, this x plus 1 is going to be operated using ALU, arithmetic operation, and you need a move instruction to move the data from here to here. Yes, so we are dealing with three things parallelly. Yes, all right, you got it, what I'm trying to say. Fine, where we go? Yeah, let me talk about. So before going to the tokens and operators, again we have this system to compile your C program and to execute. If you want to compile and execute, first you need to involve preprocessor. Everybody agree? Yeah, old one is good, but I just need an help for that. All right. Okay, understood this point? First we need a preprocessor. If you write a C program, you need to include the files, you need to include or you need to do the macro expansion. Yeah, wait for a second. team. Okay, guys. All right. Okay, let me start. Yeah, interrupt occurred. Yeah, you got the point. Yeah, this is what interrupt. All right, all right. Yeah, I was talking about interrupt. Interrupt happened in the class itself. Yeah, let's coming to the point. First, you need a preprocessor to understand any statement which begins with the hash is called as preprocessor command, and you also call it as directives or macros. You have, there are few things we have. You can also define the macros. Even you have conditional macros like hash if, hash end if. All such statements can be understood by preprocessor, but we call it as a compilation process. We call it as a compilation process, but this is done by preprocessor. All these things are in the compilation process. Yes. After doing preprocessor or after doing preprocessing job, we have compiler. What compiler does? It takes a C program and produces assembly code. It produces assembly code. And what assembler does? It produces relocatable machine code. What linker and loader together does? Linker is going to link all the external files to make you feel this all the different files as a single file. They are ready for execution. So loader is going to relocate that all the things are, you might know. Let me help you little bit. Just let me write few things quickly. Yes, I have preprocessor. What is the job of preprocessor? And we have linker. What is the job of it? And we have loader. In the exam, there is a possibility to ask one-line statements for this. Preprocessor, any statement which begins with hash, it's a preprocessor command. You might have define or include or if and if, so many. It's going to take the action for that file inclusion or macro expansion and linker is if you are dealing with many files, you want to link all of them with one file, let's say, or you might have other file, this might be linked to this one, and you want to link all the files with one with other, then what do you have? The linker is going to link all the files based on your commands, So linker is going to resolve all external references. And here external references are two types. They can be files or they can be variables, or in the files you have functions basically, and in the files also you have variables. And loader, basically I'm talking about a C program. It's going to relocate. It performs relocation and also it loads all modules into, or it also does allocation and deallocation. So many jobs are there, but relocation is the first priority that we give during program execution and compilation. Okay, this is an important fact where one-line questions can be asked in the exam. What preprocessor does, what linker does, and what loader does. Everybody? And linker and loader can be invoked during compilation as well as during execution. So we have involvement in two places, before execution and also during execution. Okay, all right. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, now I'm talking about format specifiers. I don't know how many of you are good at format specifiers. Now let me talk about format specifiers. We have very few important ones for the exam point of view, like %D, %C, or %F, even sometimes %E, and sometimes %S. And these are popularly used format specifiers for the exams. But in the exam, they try to avoid most of the times asking this kind of format specifiers. Everybody, what is done while relocation, Jala? previously assigned addresses are going to be changed if they are not available. Okay, relocation. Yeah, I can't talk about that now. Anyhow, percentile D to print decimal, and percentile T is to print, percentile C to print the character, and it is these two are for float data, that is real data. Percentile F is normal format in real format. Percentile E scientific notation, and percentile S is for the string. And these are very famous format specifiers. All right. Next, when you talk about this 6, what is 6 going to specify? If you are going to give the data, let's say 234. But 234 is just 3 character wide. So the 6D is going to help you on the screen. Okay, percentile U for unsigned if you want it. Yeah. 234 is going to print on the screen by taking 3 spaces. By default, it is right aligned. By default, it is right aligned, guys. So percentile 6D, if I'm going to print 234, it is going to take 6 character wide, and 234 will be right aligned. So you will see the 3 spaces in between before 234. Everybody clear this point? So if you print percentile 6D and let's say printf percentile 6D 234, so it's going to print on the screen this way. All right. So similarly, percentile 2F, so it's going to look at 2 characters after decimal point. Here, this is important. Point 2 is after decimal point, not 2F. 2 is representing wide, but point 2 is going to talk about the 2 after decimal point. 2 after decimal point. Remember this, not the above one. Percentile 6.2, it's a total wide is 6 and 2 for decimal point. So if you are, instead of printing let's say 20.34687, you want to print only these 2 decimal points, 2 decimal digits after decimal point, then just you use a point 2 specifies just 2 characters after decimal point. This is how it is going to print percentile 6.2. But don't worry much about it, because we are not going to display on the screen. In the GATE exam, they may not ask the percentile 6.2, 6.3, yes, and percentile P, percentile U, Nishu, all are correct, but that's fine. They are not, even have you seen any time that you faced any difficulty in the GATE exam because of these notations? No, basically. They are going to use it, just you are going to follow them. They are going to use it, just you are going to follow them. All right. Okay, now let's come to the data types. How many of you know about data types? Data types: int, float, char. What else you have? Double. And it's not data type, but it comes under type void. There is no type assigned to it, void. We use basically with the pointers to have a comfortability at runtime. Any type you can do the typecasting. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Any type you talk about, they have size, and they also have type of data. They also have the range of values. And I have not seen any question regarding this directly. Indirectly they may ask, but they specify everything in the exam. What is the size of int? That depends on the system. But remaining sizes are fixed to all the systems. So don't worry again about all these 3 things. Yes, long is, that is short. They are qualifiers. Even you can use signed, unsigned, right? And you also have storage classifiers like auto, static, register, and extern. And also you have so many you can write as a prefix like const and volatile. I'm only talking about how do you use the keywords along with declaration. Yes, you have modifiers, qualifiers, and they are going to help you to do some operations or to change the sizes or to change the type of data, positive and negative numbers, and to talk about the memory, where do you store, and to talk about the constants. This is about the constant. These are about either to increase or decrease size. And these are going to talk about positive or negative or both. These are going to talk about storage. Where do they store? Right? So everybody has a different purpose when you are using along with these types. Yes. Boolean is not there in standard C, right? Who is that? Okay, so try to understand. All right. Okay, so if you are going to learn about all of them, so be careful about what is the purpose of these data types. And also I want to talk about, in the data types we have many types. Again, primitive data types, primitive, in that you just written int, char, float, double. They're also having, secondary. Here you have two types, user defined and derived. In derived you can use, of course they are not types, but along with the types we are going to use array and pointer. In user defined you might use structure, union. If you have anything else you may use it, like enum. So these are the data types that you may use, but when it comes to derived, along with this primitive, just you are going to use either slice or star to define array and pointer. So that's all in the derived. If you want to use an example, you can use like int a of 10. Int only we used, but along with that we have used index, a slice, and pointer we use like int star p. Like int is taken from primitive, additional to that we have used dereference operator, anyhow, to declare that p is going to store the address. We are going to talk about that later again. So let's go to the point. Okay, yeah, there is one problem which might happen in the exam, that is typecasting. So let me do the revision for, yeah, I will do that. Pushkar, storage class I'm going to do the later, that I'm just use the keywords there, don't worry about that. We have a special topic of storage classes. Now I'm going to talk about how to do the typecasting basically. See, look at the character you can store in, sorry guys, character you can store in either short or integer variable. Character data you can store in short or integer data, and short or integer data is allowed to store in float, and float is allowed to store in double, and double is allowed to store in long double. And if you know the hierarchy of the sizes, then smaller size it can fit into the higher size. So this is what the compiler follows, because we build the compiler how to implement the typecasting. So these are the implicit or explicit typecastings are allowed. Explicit you can do even reverse order, but implicit typecastings are allowed only in this direction. We have two kinds of typecasting. Let me write that too. Basic typecasting I am revising here. We have two types of typecasting. One is implicit. It is supported by the compiler when you are having two variables, let's say integer and character. So basically when you write x is equal to y, the data that is there in y is upgraded to integer, because y is 1 byte and integer x can be 2 or 4 bytes, depends on your system. So y is a smaller size, whatever the data it is holding, and this is a larger one, bigger size. and the smaller one can fit into larger. This is no need to specify explicit typecasting, so it is supported by compiler. You may get a warning but no error. It is supported by compiler. Warning produced but not error. Warning definitely comes but no error. And when it comes to explicit, you can specify using typecasting. How? Suppose I have same data, int x is equal 10. Now it is your choice which direction you want to do. Just specify x is equal to, okay, integer you want, just do the typecast. The y is actually 1 byte. It is upgraded to integer size and stored in x. Stored in x. Everybody agree? Now y is actually smaller size. We are promoting to the integer size and we are storing into x. This is called as explicit. And here there is no warning and no error. It's supported even at runtime. Even both are supported at runtime. But compiler can understand you are actually not doing properly. So compiler automatically converts, but it generates an error. Warning. And another one, you can also write y is equal to char of x. This is also supported by the compiler. Now even though x is bigger size, you are storing in smaller size. Before doing this, it is going to convert the integer to 1 byte. That depending on the computer architecture again. Depending on computer architecture. Everybody clear? These two are supported now because you are doing explicit. What is not supported here? If anybody doing, suppose y is equal to x, then this is the error, compiler error. Of course, if it is supporting today, it might be doing implicit conversion, but the old compilers, they were producing compiler error because y is 1 byte and x is bigger than 1 byte. So compilers basically don't support them. Is that clear? Yes, explicitly done by the programmer, so compiler understands it will convert the 2 bytes into 1 byte or 4 bytes into 1 byte. But which 1 byte is supported? That depends on is it big endian or little endian. Alright. Okay, let's move on. So this is very important. This is supported by the compiler automatically, implicit conversion. But explicit you can do any direction. Alright. Okay, now we have so many types of constant, guys. In the exam, this is also one of the important point. How many ways we can? Oh, Jilla, we have 50 expected questions. That is in the next session. That is those people who have joined late. We have one more session after this C programming. That is today 9 p.m. Sorry, guys. This just started. Today 9 p.m. We have $50 questions to expect the 50 marks in the gate. Please try to attend today at 9 p.m. Yes, already is scheduled. It's live. Please like the session and also attend the live. You can click on notify. Alright, come to the point. How many ways you can define the constants? Look at constant, float. This is the constant. But it is also constant. What is the difference between these two constants? Anybody? What is the difference between these two constants? What is the difference between these two constants? Come on, quick. Yeah, yesterday also I have sent Sri. Quick. I know exam is very near. It's very difficult to attend the live sessions these days. But still you are attending because you have seen the importance in these videos. Yeah, there are two kinds of constants. In the exam, they might ask you how many ways you can define the constants in programming language. The first one is actually the C statement, but second one is a preprocessor statement. The second one is a preprocessor statement. Compiler is not going to see this. And here, compiler understands. These two statements are different. Here, what it does, the preprocessor is going to understand the statement where in C program pi is replaced or substituted with 3.14. When it comes to compiler, it's not going to look at this statement because compiler is not aware of the hash defined. Everybody agree this is a pre-processed statement, but it is also macro constant. This is called as a constant, guys. Pi is actually called as constant. This 3.14 is not a constant, it is expression. And when it comes to C statement, here Pi is called as variable. Look at the difference, guys. And 3.14 is called as a constant. That is a C constant. Can you see how do you define these words? Pi in C language it is a variable. In preprocessor we call it as a constant because we defined the macro. We defined that. We have given the definition, right? This constant is replaced with an expression, and in this line the Pi is a variable that we defined as a constant variable. That means whatever the assignment is there, nobody can change that value. So Pi is going to hold 3.14 and nobody can change or nobody can modify that. Everybody clear that point? Yeah, it's a macro constant. Pi is a macro constant, but 3.14 is not a constant, it is expression. It is expression. After replacing, it will be treated as a constant in C language. Alright, alright. Is there any other way that we have constants, guys? Look at now, constants. There are so many constants. Like you have integral constants like 234, 23.45 and 10 e minus 2, all are constants, but these two are float, are real, and this is integer. When it comes to character constant, anything you write inside like /n, or you can write even space, or you can write, but don't write a b like this. This is not a constant. Be careful about this. There is no meaning to a b when you put in single quote. The compiler text is not a character constant. Everybody, you should know about the character constants. Yes, even you have octal. Anything which starts with 0 is treated as octal. Anything which starts with 0, but don't write 279 because 9 is not octal digit. It's going to generate an error. Compiler knows that you should write octal digit. It's going to look at only 0 to 7 digits. So it's not allowed now. And you also have hexa. You may define 0x, 1, 2, A, B, something like that, or 0 capital X, 1, 2, A, B, something like that. Everybody, that's hexa. And also you have something like what? String constants, very special in C language. Anything you write in the world, including double quotes, that includes in double quote, is called as string constant. Yes. Exponent, yes, correct. Lexical errors, exactly. Anything that you write here is called as lexical error, which is invalid. This is treated as lexical error, exactly. Good point. Somebody not aware of lexical errors, look at this. This is also lexical error because a constant, if not able to find the right constant, is going to generate lexical error, guys. Is that clear? Everybody, if you write suppose 0x, 1, 2, hi, then it's going to generate an error there. Right? You can count as lexical error there. Everybody? Yes. Can you understand all the constants? Because these are very important in the exam point of view. They write a C program and they talk about the constants, but you are not aware of them. They're just basics, but they ask in any program directly. Clear? Yeah, this is about the constants. Now let's come to the point, operators. As I said, anything that I'm discussing, it is not over yet. We are just beginning it because in the beginning of the session I can't discuss everything. Now tell me, what are the arithmetic operators you know about it? Plus, multiplication, division, modulo, and even you have minus. Right? These are the arithmetic operators. These are the arithmetic operators. Yes, Rohit will come out. And guys, today arrays also I will explain, row major and column major order. Just wait, I will explain. Yes, but keep reminding me whichever you require. Everybody, so keep reminding me. If you want it, keep reminding me. I can't switch to directly what you want. Yes, relational operators. What are the relational operators you have? Less than or equal, greater than or equal, and double equal, not equal. And what are logical operators? What are the logical operators? Logical or, logical and, logical not. Yes or no? Logical we are talking about, which works based on true or false, right? And assignment operators, yeah, equal, plus equal, minus equal, division equal, and many. And bitwise operators, can you give me bitwise operators? Left shift, even right shift, they works based on bit, a binary number. And what else you have? Bitwise and bitwise or bitwise exclusive or bitwise, that's one's complement. Everybody, yeah. Yes, Aniket, I'll come to that as soon as possible. Yes, call by reference, call by value will come one after that, right? The whole C programming is there and we are just moving from here directly. You can't jump there, right? Are you only coming for call by value, call by reference? Are you only coming for arrays and pointers? Then I'll go and I'll explain. I'll leave the class. Do you want that? Okay. Ternary operator. Question mark and colon. And increment, decrement, we have double plus and minus. Right. Now here when I am talking about operators, remember one point which could be asked anywhere in the world, that is, look at what is operator is having. When you are looking at operator, it can be unary or it can be binary or it can be ternary. In C language we have only these three. Unary means you have plus, minus, even double plus, minus, and so many, ampersand, star. When it comes to binary, even plus can act as a binary because plus 2, minus 3, here 2 plus 3 also is binary, right? So plus, minus, multiplication, division, binary, even equal is a binary. And ternary, when it comes, you have this operator. How do you use it? X, right? And operators are three types in C language. Not only that, operator can be single character, or you may have two characters, that's called as double character. It can be triple character or it can be many. Depends on your operators. In single character you have plus, double character you will have double plus. Of course, triple plus is not there, but triple character you have, let's say, left shift equal is a triple character. It's a triple character. You can see that triple character. Can you see that? Yeah, we have operators three types: single character, double character, triple character. Yes, and this is another one. And next one, operator. When you are talking about operator, can have multiple meanings. A single operators. Example, plus is we speak, that's all. But plus, it can be unary, addition, or unary plus. You can just call unary plus. It can be binary. The same operator can be used for multiple meanings and is another way to talk about operator. Okay, let me move quickly. You got my point? Okay, now let's talk about the precedence rules. Who is going to be highest precedence here? Okay, let me define now. Okay, I'm just writing one expression. Just talk about 2 multiply with 3 division 4 minus 1, and then what else you have, and 3. Now tell me, how do you evaluate this one? So this is one of the important example for exam point of view. Yeah, when we have more operators, how do you define quickly? Yes, tell me the answer quickly, guys. It looks like I'm teaching whole C programming, but not. I'm just making you revision in a sequence. Now we need to switch to the functions and arrays and pointers after this. Yeah, what is the answer? 0, 2, what is it? This kind of questions already there in the exam, but not this simple one. You have a bigger one. And make a table, simply you have a star and division minus, and that is bitwise, and then equal. This is your table now. How do you know that this is a precedence rules? Because you need to learn, if you want to understand. All right. Rahul Sharma, is it okay or not? You should know about it. If you are facing any exam, if you are getting good marks, you don't need any test series, Rahul Sharma. But how do you test that how do you test your knowledge that you are doing the mistakes? Right? Is there any guarantee that you don't do the mistakes in the exam? So test series is basically will help you to find out your mistakes. Yes. Now first you are going to do star division, which is going to be left right. So this is first 6, and 6 by 4 is gonna be 1, and we have completed star and division. Then you go for the minus, that you do 1 minus 1 is 0, and 0, it is a bitwise and with 3, 0 and 3. 0 and 3 is going to be, it's a bitwise, and so you need to convert into binary, and 3 will be 0 0 1 1. It's going to be 0 0. See, depends on your number of bits. The result is going to be 0, and x is going to get a 0. Right? Come on. Bitwise level, we are going to do bitwise only, not logical. Anyhow, 0 and 3 in bitwise, and logical 0 and 3, you will get the answer 0, but both are going to be different. Both are different. Clear this point? Yeah. I'm working very hard from the last 2 days. That is not because of me, guys. I'm working for you. Whoever is doing revision, if you are not able to do the revision, suppose you are in nervous and you are not able to open the books, and this video is going to help you, because in front of you I'm there, I'm trying to discuss with you. So definitely you are not in nervous, and if you have any problem that you can discuss in this video, I'm going to help you how to overcome it. Is that clear? And you have so many friends, more than 130 friends are there in this chat, and everybody is replying here, and other people are also going to help your problem. Right here, everybody works and everybody studies, not only for just knowledge, it is to survive in the world. Yes or no? Whether I do the business, or whether I study, or whether I teach, and whatever we do in the world, we work for the survival. Right? If you are coming to this video and you are discussing with me, that is because you want to do the best in the world. Yes or no? Yes. Everybody? Yeah, thank you, Rohit. And every doubt is taken in this session, and if I have not taken, that means I'm not caring you. Remember that. Yeah, thank you, Bhupendra. Thank you. All right. And don't expect everything 100% from Deva sir. Deva sir is here to motivate you, to guide you, to help you. But I don't know how much I'm helping you. That is, I cannot guarantee that I'm helping you 100%. But whatever the time I have and whatever the effort I'm giving you, that is for you. Remember that. And you know that you have not paid me. Still, I'm teaching you here only to make you the best. All right. And those people who are studying continuously, please stop doing that. Right? Sometimes you should also do the relax, but at the same time, you should utilize the time. Yeah. The third subject I am doing continuously. Even tomorrow I'm doing fourth subject, discrete mathematics. You know that. And today night I'm going to make you all the 12 subjects revision, but few concepts, 4 to 5 concepts in every subject. That's what I'm going to do today. 50 questions to secure 50 marks at least. That I'm trying to predict that. Okay. Fine. So just avoid it. Yeah, you got it. Now look at bitwise operators, guys. Look at the bitwise operators. Good evening, Banerjee. I remember your name, Banerjee. Yeah. Sona Padega, Jai Kumar. Those people who are getting so much of stress, have a relax. Yeah, have a relax. Don't worry much about it. And those people who are already worked enough, and today definitely you have to relax, because if you want to perform tomorrow or day after tomorrow well, and take relax. Take relax. All right, all right. Yeah, thank you, Surya Prasad. Raj Surya Prasad. Voice breaking. Is everybody getting the same problem, guys? Fine. Look at this. How to operate this bitwise operators. If any of our computer science student is having any problem in the operators, mostly bitwise logical, they will have a little bit confusion, and conditional. Look at that, bitwise operators. When somebody giving 60, what is it here? 60 and convert into binary number. Of course, 8 bits or 16 bits is fine. And 13 you convert into binary number. And when you do the bitwise, just do the bitwise. And digital and, everybody knows, right? Digital and. Just operate using digital logic knowledge. So you get that 0 and 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, because all you have 0 here. And you got 1, 1 because both are having 1, and 0, 0. There's A and B. And bitwise OR, you are going to perform OR operation between the bits. You get some result. And ones complement. Then not A is a ones complement. So whatever A you have, just flip the bits. 0 to 1, 1 to 0. And the exclusive OR. You know exclusive OR? If you have a 0 and 1, you get a 1. If you have 0, 0, you get a 0. So if you have different bits, result is 1. If you have same bits, answer is 0. So you are going to perform exclusive OR. And left shift by 2 bits. So A you have, you just do left shift by 2 bits. And here you just add 2 zeros directly. If you add 2 zeros, you will get, and delete this last 2 zeros. Alright. Right shift, just add 2 zeros here and delete the last 2 zeros. Okay. That's not going to be difficult, because I hope you have studied digital logic. This is not going to be difficult for you. This is not going to be difficult for you if you have studied digital logic. But just I am showing the list if you want to practice it. Okay, all right. So one problem we have, condition operator. How many of you are facing condition operator, guys? Difficulty? Yeah, thank you, Energy. ओ ए आर बी आर, ए बाई बी नहीं यार, ये बाई आर समझ नहीं आता क्या? ये सिंबल अलग है, इनको छोटी चीज को बड़ी बना रहा है यार, बचपन से पढ़ रहा है डिवीजन, ये दोनों डिफरेंस नहीं दिख रहा है आपको? आर यू एबल टू सी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस टू? दैट इज द डिवीजन, दिस इज द बिटवाइज आर. बिटवाइज आर यार, ये just you have to do one thing, R operation, 0 or 0, 0 or 0, 1 or 0, 1, 1, 1, 1 is 1, 1 and 0, 0, 1 is 1. Don't know how to apply the OR operation between the two bits, right? आ गया? Clear? Jai Kumar, oh my God. Now, let me talk about conditional operator. What is the problem with the conditional operator? Three things. Remember, three things, not one thing. I have to talk about three things. Three operators that might, not three, maybe more. Let me talk about few things. First one, when you talk about logical and, careful. Second, logical or. Third, conditional. Fourth, when you are talking about operands of any operator, careful. And when you are dealing with post or pre-increment or decrement. And fifth, sixth, when you are talking about parameters of any function. And they are all difficult for any programmer if you are not studying about all these things. Implementation and rules are different here. The Precedence rules talks about you have to do some way, but their implementation can do some other way. Everybody, so you need to learn two things. What are the predefined rules and how did they implement it? So logical and when it comes, doesn't matter wherever it is. Whatever the expression you have here and whatever the expression you have here, suppose this is the last operator that you are doing it. Even though you have a plus something like plus x, that's not going to be evaluated first. First it is going to be evaluated. First evaluated this one. It's called as side effect. Don't do plus first. We don't need it. First evaluate this. If this is false, then that is not going to affect. That's not going to affect. Is that clear? Because false and anything is a false. So this is one of the problem where it's not you, it's every programmer face the difficulty how this is implemented. It is implemented that the left operand of the logical and is a false, then that increment will not happen. But if it is true and it goes this side, it increments somehow. Everybody? So this is one of the important operation. If this is false, then plus is not going to be incremented. It's not going to be incremented. If you are expecting that it is incremented, you can't see that, because false and anything is a false. It is not going to be executed. I face a lot of times it is difficult as nobody talks about much about logical and. Clear everyone? It's called as short circuiting. Exactly. This too depends on short circuit. And one more problem with the conditional. Yeah, similarly conditional. When somebody writing, whenever this is true, then only we will go to this. Now Z is not going to be executed. If you have a plus Z here, this is not going to be affected. Because this implementation depends on if X is a true, then only goes to Y. If X is a false, then incrementation happens. Everybody clear? This is another concept of the short circuit, guys. Aji Piyush, today 9 PM. 50 questions after this. Once I complete this, we'll go for that. Is that clear? Yeah, we have one day left. Tomorrow is the last day. Actually, I want to do tomorrow, but tomorrow I have discrete mathematics and there's one motivational video tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow evening also, if you are not studying tomorrow evening, please attend tomorrow evening 6 PM session. Right. 9 PM today, tomorrow 1 PM and tomorrow 6 PM. Right. Okay, now another one, operands of any operator depends on the mission. Is it left operand or right operand evaluated? We don't know exactly. And post and pre-increment, decrement, they have the side effects, and compiler to compiler, their output changes, and parameters of any function, whether when you are passing the parameters, it's going to be very difficult. Are they going to be passed from left to right or right to left? Right? Okay, keep remembering, and these things are going to be difficult for many programmers. All right. Okay. Okay, anyhow, just remember the precedence table. It's very important. Yeah, let's talk about a very important question for you. Yeah, tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. You have a pointer. Of course, I will talk about the pointers and arrays just after the this concepts. I think just after 5 minutes. Today we have very important, beautiful session for arrays and pointers. Yeah. Don't go anywhere. This is not the one that I am expecting. We are going to see arrays and pointers. Somebody want to calculate the address of an element. We'll do that today. Quick. See, this is what the difference is. Why are you getting two answers, 4 and 8? It should be only one, right? It should be only one, right? That means you have not studied the pointers. Eight is answer. That is the reason I have differentiated address size and integer size. In most of the systems, we take the same size, but to differentiate the answer, I have taken two different sizes. Now, what is integer size? What is address size? Integer refers data. In this system, data and address both are different. Both are different. And when you are talking about int star a, there are two things we are dealing here. A is a variable which is actually memory. It represents memory location. And I'm going to store the data or address there. Am I going to store the data or address there? What is the size of this? Size of address or size of data? It is the size of address, because here we are going to store address of integer, because you only told a is the type of integer pointer, everybody, and address of integer, that's any address in the world, in the system, whether it is address of int or address of char, all are same, or address of float, real data, whatever it is, any address is going to have the same size. All are having same size, everybody. That is the reason the size of a is going to print 8. Size of a is going to print 8. But if anybody asks size of star a, then of course we are not going to print it. We are only asking the size of star a. It's going to give you now 4. This gives a 4 and this gives 8. Everybody, look at that. The A4 comes when you ask size of star a, because a is having address of int and star of that address will give you integer data. Yes, everybody has the difference. Everybody able to understand the difference? What is the size of a and what is the size of star a? Both are different. In the exam they could ask such questions, but very easy, very easy. Okay, now tell me the answer. Yes, it could be predicted because we have the syllabus. We have the syllabus pointed to an array. What is C is called as? What is? I'm coming to the pointers and arrays slowly. Slowly I'm coming to them. Remember that. Slowly I'm coming to them. What is this? When somebody writing int a and somebody writing int star b and somebody writing int star c of 2 and somebody writing int d of, let's say, 4. How do you talk about these declarations? In the exam they may ask the difference. ये पार्ट डायरेक्टली ये तो डायनेमिक मेमोरी एलोकेशन में जा रहा है, सीधा लास्ट टॉपिक में घुस गया बंदा. चलो चलो जल्दी. अब आंसर बताओ, मैं साइज ऑफ ये क्या होगा? टेक द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट, don't try to execute in the computer integer sizes are different one to other, because that is the reason we should be always assume something. Look at that, size of ABCD, just make it in a sequence, then I will answer this question later. What is size of ABCD? Once you answer this, I have one more question for you. Second, what is size of star C and size of star D? And I have the third question for you. Size of star C. Okay, answer guys, one by one. Assume same, size of int is 4 bytes and address of size is 8 bytes. Quick. For 8 A. So first understand the layouts. A means A के अंदर integer होगा. Here integer data, it's not an address. B, integer address, that is we call it address of int or integer address. And C, just address of an address, not any data. And D is also address of int. Of course D is just array name, it is. D is array name guys. Instead of writing this, I can just simply say D directly refers integer, but that is by default address of first element. D also called as address of D of 0. Remember this point. All right. The first one, look at these layouts and try to answer it. Even this is not completely given to you because not assigned anything. C is a pointer that is going to point to array of 2 elements in future, not now. Just mentioned pointer to an array, pointer to an array of 2 elements. But C is itself pointer, it's address only. But it is address of address. Yeah. Okay. Address of address or address of integer. Are you ready? Yeah, so many things are there on the same data. Size of A. Now look at A is just data. So data is 4 bytes. Size of B. B is address, holding address of an integer. So address is 8. And size of C. C is also holding an address, that is 8. And D is not holding the data, is array of elements, but D refers address of the first element. So D is by default address of the first element. Address is again 8. So answer is 4888. 4888. Yes. Everybody, that's the first one. 4888. Why are you answering 1616? Why are you answering 1616? C is just pointer now. C is just pointer. It's not an array. C is the pointer. C is a pointer. D is not a pointer. B and C are pointers here. Here both B and C both are pointers. But the pointer is pointing to in future, not now. Ab to null hai bilkul. We don't point now. Everybody? Yeah, 4888. Everybody clear? 4888. Array of 2 elements not there. It's just a pointer. It's null now. Now it is null. In future will point in case if you need it. Up to 2 elements ka hai, nahi hai, null hai. Right now we don't have anything. Even null is not there. Garbage is there. If it is local variable. Come on, 4888. इनको C के लिए चाहिए. Yes. Good point. Let me ask you. Okay. Int star C of 2. इससे पहले कुछ और ले लेते. Int A of let's say 6. दिखाना पड़ेगा इसको 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, 60. Now look at the layouts to understand the fact. Here I am going to assign C is equal to address of A of 0. It's fine. Warning comes, but it's fine. Now what I do is A is going to have 6 elements. Yes or no? Of course you have index, that's fine. And now C is a pointer. So when you are declared this to, this is going to happen. I have not executed whole program yet. Now I am going to execute the program. If I am going to execute this, C is going to have an address of the first element. Let's say this element address is 1000. You assumed 4 bytes is integer size. So this is a 1004. This is a 1008. This is a 1012, 1016 and 1020. And here you are going to have 1000. Here you are going to have 1000. Here 1000 you are assuming address of the first element, but it is not address of the first element. 1000 is address of first 2 elements. That is the difference between normal pointer and this pointer. To understand this, let me take one more. Int star x, and x also I will assign same. Now this time x is also having 1000, but this 1000 is address of int, address of integer, address of one element. And if you ask star 1000, you don't get a 10. But if you ask this star C and C, both gives you 1000 only. If you want to access the 10 using the star C, you need to have 2 stars. Then you will get a 10. But if you use x, the star x is going to give you 1000 and star x will give you 10, because x is a normal integer. It knows that it is pointing to integer. But C is not a normal integer pointer. It is address of 2 integers at a time, because you defined it. C is going to have an address of 2 integer. अगर आपको 1 element की चाहिए तो you need to have one more star. That's why it's indirectly star C of 1 index. If you are writing this, you are accessing 1 or 0, whatever it is. It means indirectly star C only. Indirectly C of 0 only. Just like a 2D, guys. Everybody, that is the reason people don't understand the pointers directly. Clear, everybody? Come on. Have you understood what I'm trying to say? Look at the C and star C, because C assumes what it assumes. Look at, oh, I am pointing to 2 integers. It doesn't assume it is pointing to 1. If you want to access the 10, you need one more star here. Did you see that? But when you are going to with this star, this 1000, it assumes it's directly pointing to 1 element. Look at the difference between C and x. C assumes I am pointing 2 elements. If you want 1 element, you need one more star. That is the reason you need to have the 2 slices to access the element. Everybody clear? C of 0, Yogesh, C of 0 doesn't give 10 यार. जाके कंप्यूटर में टाइप करके देखो यार, मुझे बता रहा है क्या C of 0? C of 0 10 नहीं आता यार, समझ लो यार. That is the reason pointers are difficult for many people. Yogesh, आप assume मत करना, जाके कंप्यूटर से पूछो ना. You need to follow the compiler, right? I'm explaining how it is going to be. Star C, this is right. If you ask C, it's 1000. If you ask star C, also gives 1000. Look at that. C means 1000. Star C means it gives 1000. One more star you give 10. Look at C and star C. And how do you understand this? I don't know. Let me explain. Okay, look at int star c. ये तो बहुत difficult वाले है. Can you understand this? Can you understand this? C is just a pointer. It's going to store address only. But address of 2D, this is 6 elements. It is going to assume I have address of 6 elements. It's going to assume I have address of 6 elements. It's not address of one element. If you ask star C, you don't get any. Here C, star C, even double star C, only triple star C will give a data. This all will print same address, but they are different meaning. You don't understand the meaning directly now, but this will give you data. If you are going to deal with integers, everybody clear? How do you understand this point? It's not at all easy, guys. Yes. Okay. There's one more declaration for you. Those people who did not understand from here. Everybody clear here? C and star C is going to give an address. This star C, when will it give? If you give a star C is normal integer. So I need to explain now many things. What is the difference between int star C and what is the difference between int star D of, let's say, 2, and what is the difference between int star E of 2, and what is the difference between int star star F and int star C? Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Are they same? They are not same. They are not same. They are not same. Here, is there everybody pointer? No. Here E is not a pointer. Here E is an array. But here C is a pointer. Even D is a pointer. Any pointer will give the same size all the time. But what kind of pointer? Is it normal pointer? No. The first one is a pointer to an integer. Look at the difference. Even though size will give the same. If you ask me the sizes, where do I write? Sorry, here. Size of C is equal to size of D is equal to size of F, because all are dealing with addresses. It is same as size of address. But E is not going to give the size of address. It's going to give the size of array of 2 addresses. 2 addresses size it is going to give you. Everybody? But size of E, if you ask me, it will give you the 2 times, that is 2 multiply with size of addresses. Because it's going to hold 2 addresses inside the array. Inside the array, it is going to hold the 2 addresses, guys. Are you able to understand? The difference between this is C is a pointer to integer. Means it is going to hold address of integer. It is a pointer to array of 2 integers. But not ascendant. Not ascendant, it's just declaration. And E is array of 2 integers. Now it is created the memory for 2 integers or 2 what? Not 2 integers, it is array of 2 integer pointers. That means just like E will have 2 addresses. Here address, here also address. It's just holding like this. Now F is a pointer to another pointer. Pointer to pointer, but it's clearly visible that's pointer to an integer. Everybody? Yeah. Third is pointer. E is not a pointer, E is an array. Can't you see that? E is an array. Array of pointers we call as array of pointers is called as array. Array of pointers. Clear? Array of pointers. Yogesh, It's not a pointing to some pointer. It's array of pointer. Which pointer? Integer pointer. E is an array. We don't call E is a pointer. It's an array of pointers because array holds pointers. Yeah. If you have already studied earlier, this is not the difficult right now. Those people who don't have a clarity, definitely in the gate you will confuse. Very simple. अभी confusion हो रहा है मतलब you don't have a clarity between them, तो इसको either ignore कर दो नहीं तो समझ लो. दोनों चॉइस है आपके सामने और ऑलरेडी आपको समझ में आया, फॉलो कर दो गलत को. राइट, array storing addresses exactly. Yeah, even I ask size of star f, even size of star f also address only. Size of star f is also same as size of f because f also holds address, star f also has to hold address, but double star f is different, it's integer now. Everybody, here I can give you one more point. If I ask size of star c, it's data now. Data is also same as 0. How do you ask that? Size of 0 or 1 doesn't matter. Star d. That goes to the element, 0 element. Even you can ask size of star d of 1. That goes to second element. Here you need to ask double star. Size of double star. All will give you data, integer data. Everybody clear this point? Only those people who have a clarity in the declaration, they never confuse it. Yeah. Even I confuse a lot because of the symbols, because of the complexity in implementation. Sometimes it happens. Okay, let's move. Please note down and take the screenshot and work on it if any confusion here. Okay, now tell me the answer. Now tell me the answer. Size of star c. What is the c here? C is holding address, star c also holds address. So star c is 8. Star c is 8. Double star c gives data now. Star d, that's gonna be data 4. And size of star c, now it gives data. It is same as what? It is same as what? It is same as what? Star c is same as, what is that? Star c of 0 is same as c of 0 0. All are same, guys. This all represents same here. This all represents same. Everyone? Very basic, very basic. D is size of D. Did I write anywhere size of D? D, sorry. D, yaar. Why did I write 8? Copy paste kiya kya kahin se? Alright. D is array of 4 integers. Calculate 4 into 4. 16. Itna nahi dekha D, I just assume it is a pointer but wrong. Size of D, D is going to have 4 integers. 4 into 4 how much? 16, 16, 16, 16. It was right. 4, 8, 8, 16. Okay, कभी कभी मेरा दिमाग भी कम चलता है ना, यही होता कभी कभी. Alright, size of C तो सही है, B सही है and A. Everybody, there's one mistake, it was happened from me. The array size is going to hold 4 integers. So each integer size is 4. 4 into 4, 16. 4 into 4, 16. Yeah. Clear? Yeah. 4, 8, 8, 16. All the sizes mentioned properly. All right. Okay. Let's move on. Now let's, before going to arrays and pointers, let me quickly complete if and else. Some people are not good at this control statements. If, else, while. Of course you should use lowercase letters in C language. For, do while, switch, please know about these controls, because in compiler, if you want to write the code optimization or if you want to draw the control flow graph, the control state, this control flow is very important. We don't need control flow graph, but this flow is very important, how the control flows from one statement to other statement. Everybody, this is going to help you in C programming analysis in compiler. Fine. Everybody knows if statement. First condition, if it is true, we'll go here. If it is false, we go outside directly. But after executing true also, true condition also, or true statements also, will come to the same point here. Okay, anyhow, please just revise quickly. We don't need much. And this is for if else. What is if else? If this is true, we come to this. If it is false, we go to the side, but both will meet at same point. Both will be joined at same point. Yeah. And this is about else if. If you have else, one more if is there inside, then you know what is going to happen. All the three exits will come to the same point. If first if is true, this is the first if. If it is true, you come here, let's say. If false, go to here. There is one more if. Inside the else, you have one more if, and here you have, let me write here else if, and you have one true condition, one false condition. So all of them are going to join at one place. Okay, let's move on. What is it? While loop. So try to understand the loop, while loop, and do while and for loop. I hope you can understand them. And break. Okay, now let's go to some examples to practice, because we need a revision, right? Okay, I'm going to talk about some important examples here. Okay, let's start. Okay, I have for loop. Somebody writing for I is equal 0, I is equal 0, and I is equal 0. Don't say that you can't write it. I can write it. Printf gate. And here also I am writing printf gate or exam. Assume here integer, I is integer, so don't worry about I. Okay, tell me the output quickly. Will it go infinite loop or any problem here? Okay, let's look at. Yeah, what is the output? Can I write for loop like this? Then after loops, we'll move directly start with arrays and pointers. Come on guys, please like the session. Just 6 more likes to make it 200. Infinite time gate. Oh my god. कितने लोग इन्फिनिट बोल रहा है? योगेश नहीं सोया क्या रात को? अभी रुक. What is it? I is equal to 0. इन्फिनिट मैं गलत कर रहा हूं क्या? इन्फिनिट बोल रहा है क्यों यार? Can't you understand? See, control enters here. I gets 0. Control enters here. Again 0 comes. But here condition is a false. Why? Because I has a 0. This is nothing but I only. 0 transferred to I, and I value is taken here. That means I value is 0, so the condition is false. False means directly comes out of this and execute this one. Exam. So output is exam. Why are you executing again and again? Did I give I is equal to 1? The first time itself the I has a 0 and that 0 is a false. It comes out. Everybody, it is not we are not writing I double equal to 0. This is true. If anybody writing I is equal to 0, it's a false. Why? It's nothing but I only. It's nothing but I only. I means false because it is 0. Everybody, understand normal equal and a double equal. Both are different. Clear, everyone? It will be out of loop the first time itself. Silly mistakes can cost your marks. Assignment also you are doing the mistake, then what do you do in C programming, guys? Hannah? Come on, come on, come on. Don't do such mistakes, yaar. Chal, next example. Second example. For, okay, assume int I only. I equal to 0, I greater than 0, comma, execute. Every comma and semicolon counts in the program. Remember that. Every comma semicolon will cost you in the exam. Come on, guys, quick. So after this, we'll start now arrays and pointers, how to calculate the addresses and what is the relation between arrays and pointers. After this example, and practice well, because in algorithm loops are very important to find the time complexity. Error. Who is error, yaar? Gate never printed. Yaar. Okay, let's see how this is going to be executed. First, the control, okay, start from here. Now I value is 0, and you go here, I greater than 0 is a false. I greater than 0 is a false, but that doesn't mean anything here. And then immediately it goes here. This is going to decide the answer. Even I write double equal to here. Suppose I'm changing even to make something which is important. Even I write double equal to 0, which is nothing going to affect. Even this is true, not going to affect your logic. This is going to decide answer. I is equal to 0 false, because 0 assigned to I, and I will be considered as a 0, that is a false. And which comes directly out of this loop. Here semicolon is there. Here semicolon is there. Here semicolon is there. How many of you observed that semicolon? That semicolon is the end of the loop. The semicolon, did you observe or not? If you don't have a semicolon, this printf belongs to for loop. But this printf is not the belongs to for loop. And it's going to print output is a gate. The gate is not belongs to body of the for. Clear, everyone? Yeah, Rudra Pratap Singh, batch is going to start from the 15th Feb. Batch is going to start, Rudra Pratap. Nishu, semicolon nahi dikh raha. Infinite kahan gaya yaar? Infinite gaya nahi hai na? Where is infinite? This is only going to decide the answer. It decides entry and exit, not the first one. Clear? Everybody clear? Yeah, even this is true, it's not going to decide the entry or exit. This is a dummy statement. It has to be executed, but the result of this condition not going to decide, because how many of you know what's happening? How many of you know x is equal to 1, 2, 3? If anybody writing this, what is the value of x after this? What is the value of x? And similarly, I am going to ask something. Suppose I have a is equal to, so I may say a greater than 1, a less than 1, a equal to 1. Then what is the value of y here? What is y here? Please answer both of them, x and y. X and y, quick. यही तो होता है ना फॉर लूप के अंदर भी, वो कंडीशन वही तो है. वहां 2 कंडीशन है, वो लास्ट कंडीशन ही कंसिडर करेगा, पहले 2 डमी कंडीशन है, वो ये 3 ही डिसाइड करेगा आंसर. दिस 3 is going to be stored, not 1 to a dummy here. Similarly, the for loop condition in between that was there, and these 2 are dummy statements which will be executed like 1, 2 and x is equal to 3. So this is how it treats by compiler. Now here also same, the first one, second one useless for us, but they will be executed. Why? Because increment and decrement need to be considered. If this is a plus plus, if it is plus plus a, you need to be executed, right? That is the reason you need to consider them. It executes, then a is equal 1, true or false. Now I decide, is it true or false? A equal 1, is it 2 है? 2 double equal 1, ये तो 2 update नहीं हुआ कभी भी. 2 double equal 1 is a false. False means 0. 0 will be assigned to y. So y becomes 0. Y has a 0 here. So x has a 3, y has a 0. Have you understood now? In for loop, why did I consider the last one? Because not in the first condition. The same situation happened to the previous one. Here also we have 2 conditions. I double equal to 0, comma I equal to 0. Which one I consider here? Only this one decides the loop, decides the loop entry or exit. Is it clear? You have 2 things here. We have 2 things here. Which one decides? The second one decides the loop entry and exit, because that comma represents not a mathematics to say and or. That comma is just a C programming comma. So it evaluates from left to right. Is that clear? So don't assume the comma is and or, because we have a very difficult thing in C language, in computer science. You know, x is equal to 1, 2. This comma is r. And x is equal to a, such that if I say a greater than or equal to 1, comma a less than or equal to, this comma is and here we are writing something like for loop. This is a C programming. You are writing something semicolon and x comma y, and this comma is not or not and, it's nothing else, it is just a separator. It is going to separate 2 statements of the C programming. Everybody agree? It's not or, it's not and. Don't assume anything else. I have so much of difficulty using comma in computer science, because because of different places comma has a different meaning. Nishu, only second is considered, first is true or false, doesn't matter ना. इनको बार बार बोलना पड़ेगा. लिख देता हूँ एग्जाम्पल्स, इसको ट्रिक कर लेता हूँ. इनको एग्जाम्पल देना ही पड़ेगा अभी. For 0 semicolon 0 comma 1 semicolon 0 and printf gate. बताओ आंसर क्या है फटाफट. ठीक करना ही पड़ेगा यार. फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल. सेकंड एग्जाम्पल. For 1 comma 1 comma 1, ये printf यहीं पे लिख देता हूँ. एग्जाम. थर्ड, for 1 semicolon 0 comma 1 comma 0. Try to explain this one, yeah. Try to explain this one over answer. You will get the meaning of conditions. Tell me the answer now. First one, who decides the answer of this loop? Who decides the logic of the loop? Here this one is nothing but a true. It means always it is a true. Whenever you go there, it comes like this, and you go there and it comes like this. Understand the control, how it enters. Every time that is a true means it is infinite times gate is printed. Gate is printed infinite times there. Second one, the one is true. This is only going to decide. Again infinite loop. Infinite time exam is printed. And here this is going to decide the loop entry and exit, not the previous conditions. These two are also conditions, whichever the condition doesn't matter. 0, 1 is just dummy conditions, and this is the false. First time itself it comes out of the prints nothing, output is nothing, but the whole program executes perfectly alright, no error. 1 to infinite, 3 is executed successfully by halting and it produces nothing. Clear everyone? Can we go to arrays and pointers and also storage classes? First we'll go to storage classes, then we'll move to arrays and pointers, and most probably recursion. It's not easy to explain in this revision, but I will explain 1 or 2 examples. Are you ready for that? Yeah, almost everybody doing right now because you understood which one decides the answer now. Yeah, function recursions, we'll see that later. First we'll move to
Hello students, Gradeup is happy to announce the February Mela, जहां आपको मिलेगा मौका to win attractive prizes worth ₹50 lakhs on the purchase of Gradeup Super. आज ही Gradeup Super के साथ अपनी exam preparation शुरू करें with live interactive courses and mock tests designed by the best faculty and experts, 24/7 doubt resolution and best study material. इसके साथ ही पाएं exciting prizes जीतने का मौका। तो फिर देर किस बात की? आज ही Gradeup Super को सब्सक्राइब करें।
and also you have double validity on Gradeup. If you are going for subscribing Gradeup Super, you have so many benefits. This February you have 7+7 if you are taking 7 months, and you have 7 months and then 9 months, 9 months free, and 1 year plus 1 year. So this 50% off right now is going on Gradeup Super. You can subscribe to the Gradeup Super, guys. Okay, before starting this, let me talk about which one you require: storage class, arrays and pointers. Which sequence you need it, because I can teach in any order. Okay, we have 3 important topics here now. One is storage classes. These are the hard topics of the C programming: arrays and pointers. We are going to do the revision, 3 of them at any cost. Okay, I can guarantee these 3 of them should be clear after this, but in the revision, not each and every point that I will explain you clearly. Let's start with storage classes. Okay, in the storage classes we have auto variable, and we have register variable, and we have static variable. Also we have extern. Okay, use lowercase letters even though I write uppercase. First one, look at the auto variable must be local. You cannot declare globally. Auto variables should be local variables. They cannot be declared as global. Everybody knows that? Yes. Scoping that we will do Priyabrata at the end, not in the beginning. If you have the time, we'll do that at the end. Scoping, yes, good one. Register also local variable. You cannot declare globally, but static is your choice, either local or global. You can have both. Extern has to be only global. Everybody, the variables which you want to declare, they must be local in auto and register. Static and extern, you must define them at globally. And static has one more advantage, local. Yeah, this is the first point. All the external variables must be available globally. And declarations are different here, definitions are different. Then I can't talk about this too. Declarations and definitions are different here. Anyhow, the memory that you place or allocate is on stack. Here either register or stack, depends on availability. And static, you have data region, and this is also on data region. And stack is here allocated at runtime, created at runtime, but size of the variables known before execution. Third, by default initialization. What is it? Quick, if you remembered it. By default initialization, quick. Garbage, and here garbage, here 0, here 0. And do you know any other point apart from this? So here if I am declaring, simply you can write int x, but this can be always when you open the block, this variable declaration comes, because it must be local to any block. So this has to be there while declaring. This is auto variables declaration. Of course it may be first or second statement or third, doesn't matter, but beginning of the block only you can declare. Beginning of any block, it can be function block, it can be for block, it can be if block, but it can be any block. And registers also same. If you want to declare, there must be beginning of the block, then you can write in the beginning. It need not be first statement. Register A, it's also beginning of the block. But you know, it's a local or global. Now I cannot guarantee where I declare. It can be local or global. No need to begin with the block. It can be global. Static int A, something like that. And extern, you have, no, I can't tell you directly, but I can say if you are declaring globally, extern int A. But that we don't write extern keyword only to inform to the compiler. Only this is the declaration part. Here memory will not be created. So I'm just leaving it to you because you have a complexity to understand directly that external variables. They're not easy for undergraduate students, but still I have explained in many other sessions. Okay, these are the important points. Now we have the problem. How to deal with these different type of storages. Let's talk about that. So we have stack. We have a data region, and we also have the heap region, and we also have code region. So we have 4 regions here. The code region is also called as text region, and stack and heap, they are going to be dynamic at runtime, because stack depends on your program and heap depends on our explicit memory usage. Like here you are going to use malloc, calloc functions to allocate the memory. If you want deallocate, you can use a free or realloc. These functions are going to help in the heap region either for allocation or deallocation. You are going to decide when to allocate and when to deallocate. This is a runtime explicit user allocation. And data region, here you might use either static variables that we call static data, or you can use external variables. You can simply call global variables. And the stack region, you have auto variables or register, depends on the system. Register can be on the register variables can be allocated on the register. And code region, your program, your code. And when you look at all these four, which are fixed before execution? Before execution, the code region is a fixed. It's called as static memory allocation, because operating system allocates before runtime only. It knows the size of this code. And data region is also static memory allocation. The memory allocations in operating systems are many types. Static data is different, static memory allocation is different. Remember that point. Because size of the data is known before execution, that's why the static memory allocation comes before runtime. Everybody, why we use static memory allocation for this? Because size of the data is known before execution. Size of the data, that is size of the code, are known before the execution, because these two sizes are known before execution. Yes, size of code is fixed during execution, nobody can change. And size of this data region is also fixed, because your program is going to talk about how much size it is. But stack is automatically allocated, deallocated by the system, and this heap also we can allocate and deallocate according to our need. So this user handles, that system handles. Everybody, depends on your program control. Yeah, clear? So this is about the static memory, the storage classes. This is about storage classes. Let's move to, yeah, don't ask me random questions here. Expected questions, Senam Pandey. Okay, let's look at one example for storage class. Yeah, I will give expected questions too. Okay, find the output. Okay, assume I is integer variable. Yeah. One example for practice. I can't make you practice C programming, guys. You know, in GATE exam, if you are gonna say C programming question, even it can take 1 hour to 2 hours if you don't handle them properly. If I make you practice, you need a whole day. Of course, I can give you expected questions. Okay, what is the answer? Yogesh, are you answering intentionally? यादव 3 बार कैसे जाओगे यार अंदर? कुमार राजेश 3 बार जाओगे अंदर? Yes, Rajkumar, we have another session too. बस तो ये बार प्रिंट होता ना, तो छोटी प्रोग्राम में यार ये प्रैक्टिस क्यों नहीं आ रहा है आपको? I is equal 1. You are going to enter because this is going to be true. Then x we are going to assign 10, and one output we got 10. First output we got 10, and we go back again. I plus plus I will be 2. When I is 2, 2 less than 3 again true, but x is going to define again this 11, whatever is incremented is deleted automatically, because when you are going out of this loop, this automatically deletes, automatically destroyed, because the local to block, local to block. If you are going out of this block, then that variable is deleted automatically. So this x, when you make an entry, it is created. When you are going out of this loop, it's going to be deleted. So I is equal to, again it is created x, it will be assigned 10, and again it will print 10, and even though it increments, when you go out of this, it deletes automatically, and now I value become 3. When I is 3, then 3 less than 3, 3 less than 3 false. So it comes out of the loop. A very simple, guys. Easy conditions also you are doing the mistake. It's not less than or equal, it's a less than. I'm not starting from 0. I'm starting from 1. Clear? Yes. Now small change this code. If I have a static, now what happens to this outputs? Instead of 10 10, what happens now? If this is a static, that x is created in the data region, everybody can see this, and we can't delete that memory ever. Initially it is 0, but you already initialized with 10, so it takes 10. Before executing the program, the memory is created for that x, even though you are not here, and after that this is deleted. It's not there anymore, but it knows that this block can see that x. This block can see that x now. Now first time when you enter, x is going to print 10, and you increment x plus plus, this value is incremented here, not locally, even though you have local variable, but that is there in the data region. Now when you go even to I plus plus, still that memory exists. Previously memory was deleted, now still that memory exists in the data region. That x was there on the stack, so it was deleted. Now I less than 3, that is, what is that? I value is 2, 2 less than 3 is true, so 11 prints, and 11 is going to be incremented to 12, and then this time 2 less than 3 less than 3 false, but output this time is 10 11. So 10 11 is an output. If you use a static variable, if you use auto, it is 10 10. So this difference is very important. Yeah. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the pointers and arrays, then I'll talk about the expected questions in the gate. Okay, let me talk about. Okay, now let's talk about arrays and pointers. In arrays, learn about 1D, 2D mainly. 1D array and 2D array. 1D array, whether it is row major or column major, both are same. Row major we will follow in C language, but in MATLAB we may use a column major, but both are same. Both are same in for 1D. When you have more than 1D, this two are going to act differently. Yes, 3D भी चाहिए आपको? Okay, कर लेते यार. Then 2D array. Okay, 3D array. Let's just one example for all of them. Today also we have in the 50 questions we have one example for that. Okay. Okay, let's start with 1D. 1D. First we'll see in C language. Somebody declared, let's say, int a of, let's say, 50. And now we want to compute what is the address of a of 30. In C language only, not in any other. In C, what is the address of a of 30? If you know the address of the first element, I'm assume address of a of 0 is, let's say, 100, and assume integer size is 2 bytes. integer size is 2 bytes. Okay, now calculate very quickly, and we are going to practice all 1 to 2D, 3D in row measure, column measure, all of them. That's, I think, more than sufficient in the revision. Pointers depends on the time. Yeah, quick. Yeah, 3D also you want, Rohit? Okay, चलो देखेंगे. बहुत टाइम लेगा यार रोहित, सिर्फ 3D के लिए आपको 2 घंटे लगता बेसिकली. 3D एक बार आया इसलिए मैं आई प्रिफर 3D टू. ओके, आंसर इट क्विकली. 160, 140, 160. वेरी इजी यार. एक इमेजिनरी डायग्राम डालो. 0 से स्टार्ट होता सी लैंग्वेज में, सी प्रोग्रामिंग में, and you want to compute 49 is the maximum index. जरूरत ही नहीं लिखना. And initially this is at 100, and next definitely one index is at 102 because of 2 bytes. Now I'm asking for the particular location, let's say 30. Now how many elements are there here? 0 to 29. Total before this you have 30 elements. So just you have to do 100 plus 30 elements. Each element takes 2 bytes. Over. That will be 100 plus 60 is a 160. 160. Yes. Right. This is in C language. In C language, directly you can say the formula like address of A of I is equal to, what is it? Address of A of 0 plus I into size of element. That's all. In C language, it's row measure or column measure, same if the index starts from 0. If the index starts from 0. Yeah. Okay, let's move to in general data structure. What is required? If A is there, let's say I'm going from minus 30 to plus 50. Index. This is my declaration. This is a declaration in some programming language. It's not a C. And now I want to find out, let's say A of 15. What is the address of A of 15? And assume all of them are same. Element size, let's say 2 bytes. And first element, that's the first element is minus 30. First element address is, let's say 100. That is A of minus 30. Now A of 0 you can't assume. Okay, now let's do it. If you assume A of 0 is 100, it's a different answer. Of course, A of 0, you can't get that computation at all. Yeah. क्रिकेट खेलने के लिए जाओगे? राहुल, रिवीजन में अगर थोड़ा लेवल चाहिए, प्रैक्टिस है क्या राहुल? प्रैक्टिस में आओ, लेवल दिख जाएगा आपको. Okay. Zero, no, minus 30, next minus 29, जाते जाते 0 में जाओगे और and you need to go for 15 and last is a 50. This is the declaration minus 30 to 50. And here you need to calculate one thing. How many elements are there from here to before 15? The still 14. How many elements are there? So how do you calculate how many elements? Minus 30 to 14. Minus 30 to 14. How many elements are there? That is, anybody? minus 13 to 14. 14 minus 30 plus 1. In general, if you have something here, let's say L, this is let's say U or anything. U minus L plus 1 elements are there. U minus L plus 1. The L is already minus 30, so you have to take carefully minus 30. So how many elements you get? 14 plus 30, that is 44 plus 1. 45 elements are there. You can calculate manually if you want to see it. Minus 30 to 14, how many elements are there? 45 elements. And now how to calculate that address of the 15? We want to calculate this address. So how do you calculate? Now first element address is 100, that's 100. Next is 102 and so on, plus total elements are 45. Each one is the 2 size, so you get 90. 190 is the address of the 15. 190. Clear? 190. But you always require just before 15 what element is there, what index is there. That index will help you to calculate the total number of elements. Yes, good calculation. But now I'm going to write a formula. Suppose you have A, there is a lower bound and there is upper bound. This is a given declaration. Somebody want to calculate address of A of I. Of course, I has to be in between L and U. You can't go beyond. Out of bound you can't take. So what is it? Address of the first element, that is A of L plus. How do you calculate that? Now I is somewhere in the middle, then how do you calculate? L and I minus 1. How many elements are there? I minus 1 minus L plus 1. I minus 1, in between how many elements are there? Including I and L, L and I minus 1. So I minus 1 minus L plus 1. So I minus L elements are there. I minus L multiply with size of element. Yeah. Everybody? There is no requirement of upper bound, an issue, because I am going to calculate I here. U I am not taking. U is useless in the 1D. To calculate the address of an element, U is useless. Everybody agree? Quick. Yeah, let's go for 2D. If it is C language, int now we want to find out address of, let's say, A of 12 and let's say 17. How to write a formula? Directly I'm going to write a formula because it's a revision. Yeah. Everyone, 12 and 17. Somewhere it is there, you don't know, but you know only this first element and size of each element. So how do you calculate? So directly I'm writing, because I hope you have practiced this, is equal to, you need address of the first element, that is A of 0, 0, because in C language I am doing, and there is also row major order. In column major order I will explain. So you create the concept first. How do you create the concept? Look at the concept. Anyhow, the rows you number them 0 to 29 and the columns you number like 0 to 49. And somewhere you are using, like, this is, you are trying to compute, this is A of 12, 17. And you need to focus on one thing here. Which thing? Before this, let's say this is the row you are calculating and this is the column. And where do you focus here? Here, how many rows? Here, how many rows are there here? You need to calculate this. How many number of rows? Quick. 0 to, if this is 12th, if this is 12, then definitely 0 to 11 you have. 0 to 11. That means total 12 rows. Total 0 to 11, total 12 rows. Don't say 11, don't say 11, total 12 rows. And 12 rows we have here, 0 to 11. And each row has how many elements? 0 to 49. Means 12 rows where each row has 50 elements. I no need to calculate 49 minus 0 plus 1. 50 only comes out. Has 50 elements. If you calculate total number of elements before this row, 12 into 50. 12 into 50. 600 elements. Before the present row. Before the present row. In this row, how many elements are there from here to here? 0 to, this is the 17th column. This is the 17th, means 16 you need to calculate. So 0 to 16, here 17 elements are there. Because that many columns are there. 17 elements. So total when you look at 600 plus 17. So how many elements are there? Total when you look at from here to here, if you look at total, how many elements are there? 617 elements are there. So I can directly say now the address of A of 0, 0 plus total elements are 617 multiply with size of each element. It's the size of int. Everyone? Everyone? Direct formula. What is the direct formula? Let's look at direct formula 2. Realize what is the formula. If anybody is asking address of A of ij, take address of the first element, but index must begin from 0, then only this formula works, plus, how did you get 617? First 12 into 50. How did you get it 12? Because of this I. This is I and j. Because of I, you got this answer. So 0 to I minus 1. That is I rows. I rows and how many elements in each row? That is given. Okay, I need to mention something. Let's say this is a P and Q. Declaration I am assuming P and Q. So the Q is going to be your number of columns. So IQ plus how many elements from here to here? That is 0 to j minus 1. 0 to j minus 1. That means j. Multiply with size of int. Size of element, let's say in general. Assume P and Q are number of rows and number of columns respectively. Everybody? Yeah. Clear? 2D, row measure. Use the same concept. And if you don't know this concept, please don't try this at all because it is very important for data structure. Alright, column measure order is not in C programming, but still I'm trying to explain here because it's a part of the syllabus. Now let's go for column measure. 30, 50. Now let me ask again, this is a declaration. Of course, integer, let's say, declaration. It's not a C program, but declaration. And I want to calculate address of A of 1217 again. This time calculation changes. Assume now column measure order. Let's focus on how to calculate. Okay. Where is your focus now? The rows will go from 0 to 30, that's 29, 0 to 29 and 0 to 49. Now here there is somewhere element is there you are looking for. Let's say this is you are looking for A 12 17. Now the memory is stored in the column wise. So if you want to reach here, first 0 to here there is 16 and 17. Here it is 12 and 11. So total 0 to 16 columns are stored first, then 17th column will start. This 18th column will start. Everybody, so first how do you calculate now? Now calculation order changes now. How do you calculate? First you need to store all these elements because the column major order. First you store this one, then you store this one, like till 16 you are going to store. So how many elements are there here? Total 0 to 16 columns. But each column has how many elements? 0 to 29, that is 30. Each column has 30 elements. So total number of elements in this 17 rows, 17 columns, how many? 17 into 30. 17 multiplied by 30 elements are there. Everyone? There you can write which is equal to now in this column you have 0 to 11, 0 to 11. Here 12 elements are there. So total elements you can say 5, 10 plus 12. That is total elements are, where do I write? Total elements you will have before the element you have 5, 10 plus 12, 522 elements. Everyone? Yeah, just write the answer now directly. You have address of A of 0 0 plus you got the answer like 17 into 30 plus whatever it is 12 into size of int. Yeah, clear? Yeah, it takes much time guys if you are not aware of how to compute this row measure and column measure. Somebody is asking, I'm fully sure. Anyhow, okay, 3D you can go for because we have very less time. 3D similarly you can calculate, but I'm not going for 3D as it takes much time. It's never be used in revision. If I'm going to explain 3D, that means I'm not doing the revision. Remember, already look at the 2D difficulty. Fine, let's move on to the recursion. Let's move on to the pointers and even pointers. Is it covered? Let's go for the pointers. Pointers is covered a little bit, right? At least. Now let's go for the recursion. Let's go for the recursion. Yeah. Okay, now recursion. In the recursion, you need to know how to trace using activation records. So how do we do that recursion? Let me help you. Anybody who is handling recursion, you need to focus on many things. Here, you should know about activation record because that will help you the recursion tracing. In the activation record, know about access link and control link. Access link and control link. And many other parameters are there. Know about access link and control link. Access link is going to help you to access the data which is not available locally. You can say to access data which is not available locally, which is not available on the stack. And control link will help you to return the control to the caller, whoever called this function. and they could be asked directly, so you should know the definition of both of them. In C language, access link is also called as static link. In C, access link is also called as static link. Also called as static link. And this is also called as dynamic link. Everyone? इनको फार्मूला चाहिए, रोहित शर्मा को फार्मूला चाहिए, देता हूं, एंड पे रुको. Everyone, access link and control link. Let's look at one example, then we'll go for what you need. Then we'll close this session because we need to start another session to today. Yes, Puneet, hello. Okay, let's look at one example. Okay, let's look at this example. Basically, in the exam, they might ask about trace the recursion and print output. So they ask what is the output produced by the given program. And second, number of times the function is called. The third, either time complexity or space complexity in algorithms. Yeah. Everyone? All right. First year में gate revision में आया सीधा बाइट यार. All right, good. Now please try to answer it. What is the output of this code? If I give n value is, let's say n is equal, let's say I'm pausing here. Yeah, what is it? I'm pausing here, let's say 3. A of 3 I'm calling. What is the output if I call A of 3? What is the return value or what is output? No return, right? What is the output of A of 3? What output will be printed? Output. Here we don't return anything, we just print. Quick. And those people who want to attend the next session, you can also do one thing. You can take the rest if you know about recursion, and you can start at 9 p.m. because I'm going to wind up this session within 10 to 15 minutes. Quick. After giving the 3D formula, whatever you want. Yes, guys, quick. But please try to attend at 9 p.m. session, which is really important because I'm going to cover all the 12 subjects in that. So you need to call properly. You can create the call tree or whatever you want. So A of 3, when you call, n is greater than 0. So A of 2 will be called. But in future, this 2 will be executed. In future, not now. So for that, I am just writing, but not executed now. You are going to print n later. That is a print n. N is nothing but 3. Print 3 later, and you call A of n minus 1. That is also A of 2. And first we will execute this because that is the first statement. A of 2, when you execute again, here 2 comes. Then 2 nothing but this will become 1. A of 1. But this is also going to print n value is 2 here, and which is going to call A of 1. And A of 1, when you call, 1 is greater than 0. And it's going to, when you pass 1 is greater than 0, so it's going to call A of 0, and you will have a print 1, and it is A of 0. And when you call A of 0, blindly it fails, then directly comes out. So it's directly control returns here, A of 0, it's going to execute nothing, and this control goes back here. And there is a second statement, print 1. The first output comes as 1. How many of you have given? Yes. 1, so many of you have given except Yadav. Come on. First output is 1, and A of 0 control returns back. Nothing printed. And 2 is the next. And similarly A of 1, when you call again, the same story repeats. You can remember this story. Okay, I will print 1 again. So I will print it. The control returns back. Is that clear? Instead of going A of 0 again, 1 again, A of 0 again, you can just remember this one and copy the story again. So 1 prints, then when the control returns back, then 3 prints, and A of 2, if you remember whole story again, just copy paste. What is the story? 1 to 1 is the story. Everybody, so 1 to 1, 3, 1 to 1. Is it clear? How did I print? Yeah, Nishu, thank you for remembering. Just a concept, right? 1 2 1 3 1 2 1. Yeah, so many of you have identified the right output. That's great. But if I ask how many times the function is called, if I ask how many times the function is called, let's look at who is going to answer it. Quick, how many times the function is called? Calculate, guys, how many times function is called. For that you can write recursive equation also. Anyhow, if you are calling a of 3 including that one, okay, leave it, that will calculate later. So how many function calls here? The same number of function calls here also. And a of 2, when you call including it, 1 2 3 and 4 5 6 7, so 7 function calls here. So definitely 7 function calls. 7 7 14 plus 1 15. So if you ask number of function calls, you are going to say 15. Yes, 2t of n minus 1 plus 2. Oh, great. Is that 15 function calls? 15 function calls. Function calls. Yeah, correct. Yeah, when you are going for computing algorithms and there you can write recurrence equation, you can do that. So let's find out the output, which was the previous year gate question. Let's look at I think previous year it is. Look at what is output. Find out what is output. Issue 2 power 3 plus 1 minus 1. Great. You're able to write the formulas for them. Yeah. Recursion only you can practice. Revision is not possible in the recursion. So you can practice this question. We'll go for the 3D formula if you want it. Please attend 9 PM session and take the break if you know about all these things. Yes, Pavan is there. It's there. That's what I'm talking about. I have to close this session at any cost. So what is the answer? If you are calling 5, it's going to print 5 and it's going to print 5. So first output and last output must be same, and these two are not same, so you can cancel it. These two are same, you can keep it, and these two are not same, you can cancel it. So 2 options are deleted. Now when you call fun2 of n minus 2, that is n minus 2 is a 3, so you go here 3, and what's going to print here? It is 3 here, but look at here, plus n, that means 3 is going to increment here, that is 3 become 4, so it's going to print here 4, because of plus n, before calling it's going to increment, and n value is changed here, so it will call fun1 of 4, but it is going to make n value is here 3 as a 4. So when you come back 3 4, so 3 it has to print 4 here, and if you look at here, which one? This one, 3 3. So we can delete this option. You can choose without executing the program. You can give the output without executing whole program, because executing the program will take much time in the exam. Everybody? Yes. Time complexity is 2 power n. Great. Yes. Previous one you're talking about. Everyone? Okay, now I'm going for directly whatever I'm missing now. Okay, somebody want 3D, please leave now session and come back at 9 PM. After few minutes I'm going to end up the session. That is 3D array. Somebody want 3D array. Okay, I'm just giving general formula. It's not even int, something else. Declaration. I'm just writing A is declared as, let's say, PQR. Here PQR represents sizes of, table, rows and column, whatever it is. Here I want to find out address of A of I, J, K. But it's not easy as I'm talking about. PQR means we have P tables. This represents number of tables, number of 2Ds. This represents number of rows. And this represent in C I am talking about, in C. This represent number of elements in each row. You can also call columns. Number of elements in each row. Yes, let me write the formula for this quickly. And there are P tables. Let's say this is a table 1, let's say T0. And I want to find out, let's say, this is a T table I. And we have, let's say, last one, table P minus 1. Okay. Name will write in word rather than T. Table 0, table I, and it's a table P minus 1. If you start index from 0 and you want to calculate what I, J, K. So assume here somewhere J, K position is there. This is a J row and K column. So you are trying to compute this one. So how do you compute now the address of the IJK? First you should know what is the address of the first table. There's even first element of in entire 3D. This is a 3D. Is it easy? Is it possible to do in the revision? It's not at all possible, guys. Yes, 9 p.m. Yes, who is that? Chandramouli. Yes, I'm going to start the session immediately at 9 p.m. Please come back if you leave now. Today 9 p.m. on the same channel we have next session begins. Yeah. Now how do you calculate? Please leave now and come back. Otherwise you can continue if you don't know this concept. Now how do you compute all the tables before this? Table 0 to table I minus 1. Here total I tables are there. But what is the size of each table? Q into R. That is the size of each table. So QR is size of each table. That many elements are there. QR is number of elements in each table. Instead of writing the size, just you can say number of elements. QR elements in each table. And total number of elements here, IQR elements in all I tables. Now here you already calculated this. Before this, how to calculate? 0 to I minus 1, total I rows. Each row, how many elements? Look at that, R elements. So total you have IR elements. In this K column you are going to find out. So here 0 to K minus 1, total here K elements. So if you want to calculate from here to here, IR plus K, and from total if you want to compute, that is IQR. So from here to here, where to where? From year to year to year. You want to compute all the elements, you need to look at all of them. IQR in previous all tables plus IR in previous rows plus K in the present row. So this many elements you are going to do the sum. So what is a calculation? IQR plus IR plus K. Everyone? Is that R? Each row how many elements? Exactly, yes. K multiply with size of element. Yeah. In case if any mistake that you can correct it, but it is true. IQR size and I each row has r elements, so IR plus K. Clear? J into R hoga, is that true? Oh, sorry, that's what I'm talking about. This is I, that is J, right? So it looks like I, so I copied it. Yes, you are right, guys. This is a J, looks like for me I, so I just took I, so it is a J. Yes, sorry for that. It is J. I just assumed it is J because of, I deleted in between. All right, clear? It's J. So JR plus K. All right. So just it was my mistake. I have written I there. Clear? So with this, we have completed even 3D that you had it out. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to wind up this session now, but I'll give important questions which are needed for C programming. First one, in storage classes, expected questions in the GATE 2021. Let's see after 2021, are they coming or not? Expected 2021 model questions. In storage class, mainly focus on static variable. They might ask loop or recursion along with static variables. So that makes a lot of confusion when you are keep on coming to the same block, then retains the values of the retains the previous values. So that is very dangerous. Yeah. And second question is about operators. What kind of questions they ask? They will give an expression that contains different operators and different types. Different data types and different operators. Example, 2 into 3.0, which is going to evaluate as 6.0. It's not a 6 because it's going to evaluate as a real value. Something like that. 2 by 3.0. It's going to calculate as a float, not integer, because integer by float will be considered as the int will be promoted to the float basically here. The result is float. If you are doing with binary operators, be careful. If one of them is integer, other is a float, result converted into the float. It will promote to the higher type. Yes. And there is no time for static and dynamic scoping issue. Yes. Okay. If anything is required that you can revise yourself. Yeah. So these are the two expected questions in the coming GATE. And recursion, obviously there are questions all the years. So please practice for the recursion questions, but focus on these two things, operators as well as static variables. And arrays and pointers, anyhow I discussed today. Let me write 3 and 4 and 5. Third question is, if they ask about arrays, mostly they ask about arrays and pointers. Sometimes they also mix the concept with the strings. And out of these three concepts, definitely one of the concept always there in the exam. And the fourth one, the recursion. In the recursion, they may not ask directly. Yes, mostly they might ask using call by values. Even they may use call by value, call by reference along with the recursion too. Yeah. So these 5 topics are expected in the coming GATE exam. Yeah, if you have anything, you can ask now. We will leave and we'll come back after 10 minutes, guys. We don't have much time. Only we have 10 minutes. I should come back. Yes. I will stop now. And thank you so much for joining today's session. And we'll come back after 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, we have 50 expected concepts in the coming GATE, and which is going to be very interesting because we have the question, and with the question we are going to discuss the concept, but in less time, because we need to take the rest for the tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So I don't take much time. I'm predicting 3 hours to 4 hour session, and if possible I will complete within 3 hours. Yes, bye bye and see you at 9 p.m. today. And Yeah, we have many examples here because I've explained. When structures also there, yeah. So we have only 2 days left. In case if you need any help regarding preparation or regarding revision, I'm always there, guys. And we have top educators on this platform, and you can contact with me, and you have so many proofs that we have we have started from basics on Gradeup. Of course not me, but Gradeup has started from 2018. We have started with 1 rank, but in 2019 it is just 2 ranks, and 2020 so many, and 2021 you are not going to see this list. It's going to be very big list. And if you want to join on Gradeup, you can go for Gradeup Super, or you can go for a green card to attempt online mock test and designed by toppers, and based on latest exam pattern this green card is designed. You can subscribe to our Gradeup. And what are the advantages if you have the Gradeup Super? The Gradeup Super has advantages like structured live courses, India's best educators, and complete doubt resolution, and you have full syllabus coverage of syllabus. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today's session. If you have any doubt, you can always contact us. And this is what we have. You can download our Gradeup app right away. You can ask your doubts, and you can access our content, and you can access our material. And if you subscribe to our Gradeup Super, you will get unlimited access to our content. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, see you at 9 p.m. Bye bye.